Hey, y'all, what's up? Welcome to the For Shits and Giggles podcast. Once again, baby, with the fuckery finest. I am your host, AJ, and I am here with my co host, my boo Z. What's up?
What's going on, everybody? How y'all doing today?
Oh, you ain't gonna say it this week?
What's your cooking?
I was wondering where it was at. And then I got my brother Jarrell, my older
What's
brother,
happening,
I
good
should
people?
say.
What's up? What's up?
My
I don't have a
older,
saying like that, so I don't have anything to say.
my older brother, might I add. I just
About
want to put
7
that out
days,
there.
seven
About
fucking
7 days.
days,
And then we
7
got
days.
and we got the queen bee herself, Miss Joe Nini. What's up, babe? How you doing?
I am good. If by chance, if y'all may see an extra person coming popping up,
Hey.
okay.
Hey.
Yeah, so I just need to, everybody to know she just pop up.
That is our
Parenthood at a
that's our
time.
special
Okay.
guest. That's our special guest for this week.
First, make time that I add our first special guest.
Yes,
Right.
Mhm.
special guest for this week. So how y'all doing? I mean, what kind of week y'all had this week? My week was okay. If you in Florida, you already know it's been raining cats and dogs. It's flooding every damn well. It's just doing the absolute most.
Facts. Especially down here in Broward.
Yes.
Mm.
Jarrell, how you been doing this week, boo? What you had going on?
Everything and nothing at all. Like for real. Oh my god. Like, we
You
had
still
some rain
rocking the
too up here,
big
but ours
fella?
didn't last as long as y'all's. It wasn't as bad
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
I heard y'all got floods and all that shit. Ours came and went like it was. Whoop.
Yeah, no, we've been having flood. It's been bad.
Is that the
Oh.
karaoke microphone?
And it is. I just thought I'd be real theatrical tonight. Get off
Yeah.
that echo.
Oh,
I don't know
okay.
why it's connected to my phone, but it is. Y'all hear me clearly?
That's cute. I like that. I like it.
Petty.
Extra big. Look at
I've been
Jarrell.
wanting to get me one of those. Because I've been wanting to get me one. I ain't gonna lie. I've been wanting to get me one for so long.
What you gonna do? You gonna
I
sing us a
might still
song?
get one.
What you gonna get in here and sing you a song?
I'm gonna sing me a song.
No, I said Jarrell, is he gonna get on there and sing us a song? He said he wanted one.
Yes. See, I'm the type I'll walk around in the store with it and then actually talk to people with it.
Oh God.
Like,
Petty.
They
hello,
gonna call the police on
hello,
your
sugar.
Our special guest has something to say.
She wants it, but she ain't saying nothing.
ass. Okay, so we might well go on and jump right on into it. So last week, Jarrell ended his segment, ended the last episode with a lot of important questions. And one of those questions was about voting. And we let y'all know that we're going to be talking about the judicial system and then also the three branches of government. So my first question to the group that I wanted to lead with is because we've talked about this. First of all, let me say to everybody that's watching, we thank y'all for y'all support. Also, if y'all didn't know that this podcast started because we all as a group would talk every day in our group chat about every fucking thing and nothing at all. So we came up with For Shits and Giggles. And one of those topics that we always talk about is why does the black and brown community, they usually only, you tend to see them only vote for president. They don't really vote. Look at your Joe Nini. They don't
I'm
really vote
sorry, y'all.
for.
I'm sorry.
Come on now. They don't really vote for all of the other things like the senators and all that. You don't really see them at city halls. So I'm gonna go around the panel and y'all tell me, why do y'all feel like this community only really focuses on that one branch? Joe Nini.
Okay, now I hear y'all.
Okay. I'm gonna start. Okay. I will say this. Well, I feel like a lot of people do not vote for nothing other than the president. Is because that's what they've been taught. They've been taught, okay, I'm a Democrat or I'm a Republican because my mother, father, grandparents, that's what they were. So it's like when you go to the voting poll, only thing we see on the ballot is D's or R's. So I don't care who the people is. I'm just gonna vote for you because you are a Democrat, basically. So we don't take the time to research these people for one. Two, these people, nobody, it's these days, nobody don't really, I guess I'm gonna say they don't care about the voting like that. Like the
Mm-hmm.
young generation, they have no sense of wanting to even learn. They don't even care. It's just whatever it goes, pretty much.
Jarrell.
That's
Okay.
one. Yeah. So for me, I would say it's because one, they don't, like you said, Z, they don't know. And then a lot of people don't know how to register to vote. Like they don't know where to go to vote. So to them, it's just like, okay, since I don't know where to go, I'm not going to do the research to find out where I need to go to vote.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I don't think that they know anything past the presidency. It's like, okay, I vote for the president and I'm done. I'm cool. And then also, I don't think it's promoted enough
Mm-mm.
um as
Mm-hmm.
far as the elections of the, I wouldn't say lesser people, but the people
The other
from
branches.
the local communities, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So being that they don't know, it's like they don't vote, and then also it's like a certain age range that doesn't vote more so, and it's
Yeah,
more
we're
so
gonna
the
get
younger
to it.
people than the elderly people.
We're gonna get to that part. Joe Nini, why do you feel like the black and brown people don't really vote for anything else other than the presidency?
I would like to say ignorance is bliss. It's like the other two just said. It's just not knowing. And let's just be real. Like when they are trying to teach you this in school, you could have just been like me and slept. That was the subject I slept in. Okay. That's God forbid if it was in the beginning of the day, I just never made it at all. So, and that's just my truth. So
Mm-hmm.
it's just like it was that, and then even when you get older, like down here, you start seeing the signs for a sheriff, or you start seeing the signs for different zones and everything. And it's just like you see it in passing. You really don't really pay attention to it unless you're at a stoplight. You're like, oh, such and such is running for such and such. Oh,
Right.
okay then.
And
Right.
then you just keep
Vote
on
for them.
rolling.
Look, I vote
Mm-hmm.
for them when I vote for the president, not knowing their election is in a month or so or 2 months or so. You get what I'm
Exactly.
saying? It's like, and then nowadays, I'm gonna be honest. Like my television is on right now, but it's on Disney Plus. I can't tell you really the last time I watched regular TV, let alone localized television. So if it came down to advertisements, I won't see it. What, little girl? If it came down to any of that, I won't see it. It just it's not
And,
a part of my day to day ultimately.
and
I
let's
like.
be honest. Like even if they did promote it like that, and it comes up on our TV screen, how many people are most likely to actually sit there and watch it? A lot of people gonna turn the channel or zone out.
I walk away if
See,
I
Yeah.
did see a
it,
commercial.
it
That's
it
my
also
kind of use of
depends on the
Apple.
channels that they put it on, because if it's not on a channel that majority people watch, majority of the people are not going to see it.
That's
Right.
why I
And
And
if
say
then
on
most,
those
like say if
channels
most
I
people are
don't
watching
watch.
ABC, if you're not posted
yeah,
their elections on ABC or something like that, you're
mhm.
not going to know.
And that's like
So
chosen demographics too. It's
yeah.
to a targeted audience. So that
right.
makes a lot of sense. So I want to go also and talk about what Jarrell was talking about certain age groups are just not interested in voting. So Jarrell, what was you saying about that?
Yeah, so usually I think it's I forgot the statistics, but I think it's like 18 to 25.
Yes.
It's like
Mm-hmm.
the group that has like the lowest number of people registered to vote. And like I was saying before, I think it's one because they don't know how to register to vote.
Mm-hmm.
Two, I also think that it's kind of like what Z was saying, like they don't care in a sense. Because
Right.
when you're young, you feel like you're invincible and things don't affect you. So being that you feel like it doesn't affect you, you're not going out there to try to make an effort to register to vote, to make sure that you do go out and vote. Because even for those that are registered to vote, they actually are still the lowest number of people in that within that age group that actually go out and vote, period.
I'm gonna go ahead and provide them. So how do you vote? So if you can just put in vote.gov and go there, you will be able to vote. It will tell you, you'll be able to register to vote. it will give you instructions on how to register to vote. So that's vote.gov. Um, Also, I want to go ahead and give some dates. So we do know that this year is the date of election. In November, there will be an election, and this is the election for like your senators. I think it's like 30 seats up for grabs for senators. So by July the 25th, next month, you have to be registered to vote in order to vote for the primary election. So the primary election is like the prerequisites. So we're choosing who we want to be in the forefront, and then you have your primary election in November. But you have to be registered to vote for the primary election July the 25th, and then for the main election you have to be registered by August the 23rd. So we really don't have that much time. We got like 1 month. One
Yeah.
month to do it. So get out there, register your ass to vote.
Another
Don't wait.
website,
Votes.
it's
What else
another
you got?
website, rockthevote.com.
Mhm.
It's kind of like a one-stop shop. It tells you, you know, how to vote. It lets you check your register status, like to see if you're
Mhm.
still registered. And it's like a whole bunch of other resources and stuff on that website. So that's another good
Mhm.
website to go to, rockthevote.com.
So
I mean,
rock the
sorry, y'all. It's rockthevote.org.
rock the vote
Rockthevote.org.
org and then vote.
For a long time, for years.
Yeah.
They've
You
been
said what?
promoting it for years.
Yes, they
Rock
have.
vote.
And then also, I believe on that site that Jarrell talking about, they will actually tell you where you're supposed to vote at, what precinct you're supposed to go to vote. Because you can't just pop up anywhere and vote. You have to go to wherever you are registered to go. They will tell you. Like me and Z, we just got our new voting cards in the mail. They just sent it. And that's how you that's also an indicator that it's some shit getting ready to go down. It's getting ready to be time to vote. When they send you that card in the mail, that new card, that means it's getting ready to go down. So you
Yeah.
have to be prepared for that.
Also on rockthevote.com, you can actually get notifications on when to vote, like when the elections are going on and everything like that. So you can also get reminders. You just put in all your information and they'll send it to you.
And you good to go. So I have a question for the group. What do we say to the people that be like, what's the point in voting? All the shit is rigged up. Don't neither side do shit for the black people. What do you say to that group of people?
A good question. That is a good question. My thing is, you have
Go ahead,
to be, you have to go out there to be the change. You have to be the change. And if you go out there and you put your vote in and you vote for somebody, put their ass to work. Make them work for your vote. So if you feel like they're not doing what they live up to, that's when you start going to the town hall meetings and you start
Mm-hmm.
voicing your opinions on what is wrong. Hell, you can voice your opinions on what is right, what can be improved and everything like that. So it's like you have to be the change that you want to be. So the
Right.
first thing to do that is by voting.
Voting. And you have to vote for other things other than the president. Because
Yeah.
we're gonna get into that too,
Yes.
because everybody feel like the president is all powerful. Yes, he is the pretty much the spokesperson for America. He has the top ranking spot. However, when we get into the branches of government, there is a more powerful branch. Do y'all know the branches of government? Let's start there. Do we know the three branches of government? Jarrell,
Judicial.
because you looking
Don't
like
come
you
to me
got
because
the answer.
It's
no,
judicial.
I don't.
Didn't I just tell you I slept through that subject?
But
It's
he was
Mhm.
looking like he
judicial.
was getting ready to say something.
And it's like, hey, let's look,
No, I
look,
was
look, look.
looking like I was waiting on one of y'all to say something.
I know it's judicial, and
I'm
Okay,
about to
you got
fuck
the.
your shit up. Electoral.
Oh my God!
I
So
think
you
that's
got
two of them, ain't it?
listen. No, it's three. It's three branches of government. We finna go through them. So you have the legislative branch.
yes,
Those are the lawmakers. So that's your Congress, your House of Representatives, all them people. Then you have the executive branch. That's your president, your vice president, the cabinet, all of those people, and then also like law enforcing bodies. And then your third is judicial. So those are the law interpreting bodies. So you got the lawmakers, you got the they carry out the law, and then you got the ones that interpret the law. So the lawmakers are your Congress people, the senators, the bitches that actually make laws. The president does not make laws. He signs them off. Once they come up with some shit that they want to do, he just makes sure that that the law is carried out. And then you got the law interpreters. That's when you go to court, take your ass to court, the federal court. They are able to take a law and interpret it. That's where you have a lot of loopholes coming in because a law can be interpreted a whole bunch of ways. So those are your three branches. Jarrell, repeat the three branches.
Don't come over here. Mm-mm.
Executive.
I got enough schoolwork and shit that I gotta try to remember. If I need to remember, I'm gonna replay the video, replay the audio, and I got you.
Okay, so just remember that you got one group that make the law, one group that makes sure you do the law, and one group interpret the law.
Hallelujah.
The three branches.
Mhm.
Now,
Petty.
which branch do y'all think is the most powerful branch?
Judicial.
Jarrell?
It was the shit. It got to be the lawmakers. If they don't know, it's
Johnny?
the bitches that sign the shit
Ones
off. I
that say
guess.
so. What? I don't think the president is executive, right? Because I said
Yeah,
electoral. So that's executive. I don't think the
executive branch.
president. To me, his ain't that important. He just, put his John Hancock on that bit, and that's we're gonna call it a
Yeah,
day.
right.
I feel like the ones who vote on it, whichever one that is, that's the
Mm-hmm.
one that matters the most. And I
That's
think
the
that's
one that
why,
matters the most.
I think that's when they be like, oh, the Senate consists of majority Democrat or Republican, because they're the one who vote off on the shit or
Boom.
whatever.
Now, which
Right.
house?
So the most powerful, you correct. You and Jarrell said it right because Z said judicial. So that branch is the most powerful. Congress, the senators, that's what I see in a lot in our community. We don't hold the senators accountable. Everybody get mad with the president when some shit don't go right. Everybody blame the president. The president is why the fuck the president ain't doing his job, but nobody questions these senators and these Congress people that sit in these seats.
And that's why they be sitting so fucking low because the president is kind of like the puppet
He the
of
spokesman. He the face.
yeah, he's the puppet.
Right.
Like they're holding the strings, but he's the one out there doing the show. Like
They
because
the
he's
ones
the
holding the strings.
yeah
They
he's
the
the
ones holding the strings. Them the ones that make shit happen.
right, and then
Right.
they can he's the face of it. So whatever decision is made, whether people like it or not, he's gonna be looking at
Mhm.
the plane because he
Yeah.
signed basic.
it's kind of
Johnny,
like
you
if you own a business, even though you may not be the one that fucked up, that did the fuck up, they still gonna look to you
Yeah,
because you
because you're the
you
one
the
that's in
owner.
charge.
Exactly.
So
Johnny, you getting ready to say something?
Nope, my lips just feel real chapped, so I keep licking them.
I'm thinking you getting ready to say some shit.
No, I'm
Nah.
agreeing.
yeah,
So again, listen, y'all go out there and vote. Go
yeah.
vote.
please,
Very, very.
Please.
Look, let me add to that, especially women, because I had to just really look into it. Like we didn't always have those privileges. You feel me? We was always looked at like second class or whatever. So to be a woman, let alone a black woman, exercise your right to vote, because we ain't always had that chance. You feel me? So
Mm.
man, tighten up. If you get your wigs did and all that, and they make it to the point now that you can even vote from home. They'll mail the ballot to you, so you legitimately have no excuses, bro. Like take your ass
Exactly.
out there and do what you're supposed to do.
And then if you are a minority, and if you are a type of person in a certain lifestyle, you definitely need to vote, especially when it comes
Mhm.
to the gay lifestyle. Listen, they're so against the gays, y'all. We have to come together and do what we got to do. You
And
know
if
Mhm.
you don't do it, shut up. Don't complain
exactly.
about nothing. Just shut the fuck up.
Yep.
Yeah.
What it boils down to. Because guess what? Gays that choose not to vote, bitch, you ain't always get a chance to. You ain't always married.
Oh.
Maybe the lover. You get what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Women, you know, there we had a whole movement, you know. So it just come down to it. Like these rights weren't always just God given to us, you
Right.
know. It had fought
So don't
for it.
take it for granted.
Yeah. So just do what you're
Exactly.
supposed to do. What you got to do, man.
See,
Yeah.
speaking of actually voting and stuff like that. See, this one bill that they passed or whatever about the people going to prison, going to jail.
Oh
Or,
wait, Z, you getting ahead of me, baby. I'm getting there.
oh,
We
okay.
get, we get there.
Bring it on. Bring it on.
We get there. But first, I wanted to talk about because y'all know that the president, his term, because I really want people to understand that we need to hold these senators, the ones that Jonine and Jarrell pointed out, are the real puppet masters. Those are the ones we need to start looking at more and voting more because those are the ones that's holding the strings and making this shit happen. So I really want to push that on this episode. Look into your senators, see what they're about. If you don't like them, vote for them. And I wanted to point out that the president, y'all know the president term is 4 years. They
Mm-hmm.
do 4 year terms and then they have a cap on their term. They can only serve 2 terms.
Mm-hmm.
Senators, however, they have a 6 year term, 6 years. And then they also, senators can serve until the age of basically 75. There is no cap on how many terms that they can serve. Me personally, I don't like that. I feel like it need to be a cap on all that shit. How do
They
y'all
do.
feel about
I agree because sometimes you have those. Well, you said up to 75.
that?
That mean
75 years old.
they've been in
They
that bitch like
been
60.
sitting in the seat for hella long.
You get what I'm saying? Like they've been in there for a while, and them being in there, their old ways. Sometimes they don't change. Sometimes you can't teach
Right.
an old dog. Sometimes you can't teach an old dog new tricks or whatever. So, with that being said, that old dog is still racist or prejudiced or whatever the case may be. And now here they are, they're bringing into the new millennium. And
Mhm.
I don't know, send that nigga to jail. Oh, you get what
That's,
I'm saying? That goes
Exactly.
for judge.
that goes down to the sheriffs and shit too. Because yes, you can vote for your
Yeah,
sheriffs too.
yes, you
Because
can.
I don't know if y'all heard about the story with the sheriff. It was a black guy, and he heard about his officers that were saying like racist shit. And they were saying a whole bunch of racist shit about black people, how they should have killed them and all this, that, and the third. He fired every last one up. So it's like vote for your sheriffs, vote for your judges, and
All of it.
get some of them little fucked up minded people out of office. Also, if you want to run for president, the age limit starts at 35. I know it
35.
costs
But you
35.
Ooh, I'm almost there.
I'm
Almost there.
Y'all want to see me as president?
Real quick, since Jarrell brought up the sheriff, that's another thing. Like, I don't know if anybody, well, I'm gonna just speak for Florida, but our current sheriff in Florida has been serving for 36 years. That's
But
older than me.
is he a good sheriff?
No.
No,
Okay.
but he, the
Just-
sheriff of Florida. Oh, the baby, she had something to say. She don't even like his.
She agreed.
She don't like his ass either.
Mm-mm.
Excuse
Our
my
sheriff
language, you
has been
should.
in office
but-
for 36 years, and I feel like it should be a cap on that type of stuff.
But is there okay? So even though they're serving all these years, after a certain amount of time, you can vote them out, right?
Yes, they have everybody have terms, but that's my point. They keep voting the same people in for reasons, but it still should have a cap. Like the president, you can only vote for him in twice. After 8 years, you got to vote for some damn body else.
And because Florida is a Republican state, basically, they're gonna
We
keep.
not getting into Democratic. We're not getting into Democrat and Republican. We just saying.
I'm just saying.
So what Z was talking about on Monday, May the 23rd, the U.S. Supreme Court, they took out a constitutional protection that for years have been provided a federal lifeline to innocent prisoners. So basically, now you are no longer able to take your case to federal court. Once they convict you, that's it.
No more appeals.
No more appeals. Even if more evidence come or whatever, if you didn't bring that evidence at your main trial, then you just shit out of luck.
That
So
was
you-
to attack people that look like us.
Right.
That because if you think about it, when who was it? The Kim Kardashian, when she started freeing all those black people,
She's starting to free a lot of people, right?
even though it was some
One of
black
y'all-
women behind the black lawyers behind that,
One
that
of
didn't get the
y'all even
recognition.
said that. I don't know if it was Jarrell, but one of y'all was like, "It's we're starting to see more and more black people be exonerated from crimes and stuff. Like you're starting to see it more and more." And I was like, "You gonna see it more and more because now evidence is coming out that these people was lied on, some shit was made up, whatever the fuck." So now it's just coming to the fact that now they're being free, but now they've come up with a law that's going to be thrown, that has been thrown out because it's already in motion.
It
Yeah.
is.
When
Like I
everybody
said, it's to attack us.
now, mind you, this was the same week that all those massive shootings and stuff was happening. They went and voted for this shit in that same week.
And
I
it's
think
sad.
they behind all this shit. I
Yeah,
think
it's
they
sad.
behind all this shit. They doing all this shit
It's
to
just a
distract us
distraction.
from the
That's
shit that's going on behind these doors while they making these laws. So it's like everybody's focusing on the shooting, but they're not focusing on the fact that they're changing all these laws.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
It's sad 'cause you got all these
they
people
know what the
who-
fuck they doing.
It's sad because
Yeah.
you got all the people who was actually executed, and they were, you know what I'm saying, for a crime they didn't do, you know. And it's like, damn, now we're going back to that same situation. And it's like, what I feel like, as soon as we get these people go to court, they're gonna automatically throw them the massive charge.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Let me read this real quick. I want to make sure our channel is correct. So it says
Yeah.
the U.S. Supreme Court gutted constitutional protections that for years have been provided a federal lifeline to innocent prisoners facing prolonged incarceration or even execution following wrongful convictions stemming from poor legal counsel. You know, you get your what they public defenders and shit stemming
Yeah.
from poor legal counsel given to them by the states. This rule barred federal courts from hearing new evidence that was not previously presented in a state court as a result of the defendant's ineffective legal representation. So you can no longer be like, oh, I didn't have a good lawyer, they didn't provide this information, it's just what it is. The decision means that prisoners will no longer have recourse to federal judges even when they claim they were wrongfully convicted because their lawyers failed to conduct their cases properly. This would leave many people to face incarceration or even execution without any meaningful chance to vindicate their right to counsel. So, state officials in Arizona said the convicted should not be allowed to present new evidence to a federal judge when they have failed to do so previously in a state court. So, again, they just saying, bitch, you ain't bring this evidence at the state court, we don't want to hear it at the federal court. So now it's just basically if you get caught up in some shit and go to jail, you better get you a good ass lawyer right then and there.
And
that's
that's the
sad because
thing.
a lot of people
We
are not
can't
gonna be
a
able to
lot.
afford it.
Yeah, exactly. So that's like the black people, the brown people, and the low income.
Exactly. The poor and the black and brown. Go ahead, Jonini.
I remember talking to a couple inmates when I was working at one prison, and there was these two inmates. Both of them was incarcerated for drugs, right? So both of them pretty much did the same thing, had a large amount of drugs and all that whoop the whoop, right? One inmate got like 25, 30 years. Another inmate had like 10 years. I said, how the fuck you get 10 years and this motherfucker did the same crime and got
Exactly.
20 or 25 years or whatever? And he told me something that always stuck with me. He said, he like sell drugs, not to show off, not to buy the big house, not to do all that. He said you sell drugs to save the money for the attorney because you're going to get caught. Everybody gets caught. So what you need to do is not worry about what you look like or what this or that or whatever the case may be. He said you stack up your bread so you get that attorney that's going to get you that 10 years instead of that 25 to 30. I said, that makes sense. He was like, yeah. He was like, so why? Yeah, we did the same crime, but I got 10 years and he got a life sentence. He said, because that's what 25 years is. Ultimately, your life is gonna change when you step out of step out of that gate. 25 years or 30 years from now, mandatory sentence. It ain't gonna be the same thing as when you went in.
No.
And that shit stuck with me. So he was like, yeah, you're pretty much paying for that attorney. Yeah, the house is nice. Yeah, take care of your mama, whatever the case, blah, 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 blah. But he was like, you're going to need that 100K for the attorney because that's what 10 years cost him, 100K. I'm like, well, goddamn, 100K.
That's
You know
a
how much
lot.
pussy
God
you sell for
damn.
100K?
Girl, get you a good lawyer.
You know the crazy part about it is like, and it goes back to having good lawyers and all that stuff like that. Even back in the day, because it was one inmate, to where I read, on them or whatever, and I was like, whoa, you had one crime in the '90s and it was like armed robbery with a deadly weapon, but that was your only charge. You have life. But imagine how many people have the same thing nowadays and don't even get close to life.
Hey, where he was at with it?
Huh?
Where he was at with it? Did somebody die?
No, nobody was killed. Nothing. It was just he robbed somebody. He robbed somebody or someplace with a deadly weapon. That was it. And that was his
And he
only
got life.
So that had to be back when that 10/20 life came out.
But he only had. Well, it
That
could.
was his only charge. I'm sorry, too.
It don't matter if it's the only charge. Remember, they came out with the 10/20 life law. So the
Commit a
10
crime,
counts.
10 years.
If you expose the
10
gun,
years.
so it's something with gun. It's a gun. It's
Yeah.
specifically a gun law. If you
that
bring a
life
gun,
But you don't get
life
life
was supposed to
until
come into play is unless somebody was killed.
killed
That's
or
what I'm
shot.
saying. Like
I don't even think it have to be killed if they were shot.
He fired the weapon. He
fired the weapon.
I don't think he fired the weapon though. They just
But
said
that
it.
don't sound right.
It don't, and that's what I said when I was in the hospital. It was at
You
hospital.
had a public defender.
And I went out exactly. Oh, he couldn't
Or
afford
he
to
lied.
or
Or
lied.
he
Yeah.
lied to you.
No.
But that's what I'm saying. It's just like that the stuff like that don't make sense. It's like nowadays.
Do you know what type of gun he had?
No.
Because according to this, if the firearm is an assault weapon or machine gun, they must impose a sentence of 15 years, 20 years, or 25 years to life.
Right. Thank you for
So,
fact check.
yeah, so it depends on
that?
whatever type of weapon he had.
What is look up the 10/20 life rule for us real quick while we keep going.
That's what I'm looking at now. It says Florida's 10/20 life law.
Not pertaining to like major weapon, just any gun. It was one that was just on any gun. You bring a gun to a motherfucking crime, you at least get 10 years.
That's what. Yeah, it says Florida's 10/20 life law is a law that requires courts to impose a minimum sentence of 10 years, 20 years, or 25 years to life for certain felony convictions involving the use or attempted use of a firearm or destruction device. If the firearm is an assault weapon or machine gun, they must impose a sentence of 15 years, 20 years, or 25 years. The penalty is in addition and consecutive to the sentence for the underlying felony conviction.
Ooh.
Now, is it life or is it, some people consider 25 years life?
Yeah, that what Jonini was just
That's
saying.
what life is. 25 years is life.
And she explained because by the time your ass get out there, the world is something totally different. If you get out.
Well, yeah.
So if you get 3 life sentences, that's 75 years.
Mm-hmm.
You could just say,
Real quick, I wanted to say some statistics real quick. So the innocent.
Don't say it.
Huh? You say what?
I just said go on say
it. So look, the Innocence Project said that overturning wrongful convictions was already not easy, and that with that ruling that they did, it made it even much more harder to secure justice for wrongfully convicted people. So since 1972, over 1,500 Americans have been executed. And out of that 1,500, 187 of those were later exonerated. That means after they done already killed the people, now they saying they innocent. And those are only the ones that we know about. So how many do y'all think black and brown people were innocent and they went through this thing and they've been executed and never got the exoneration that they deserve?
A lot.
Mm-hmm.
I would say about 95%.
I think so too.
Especially because like
187.
And it's sad. That's sad because it's like if you think about I forgot the little boy's name that they executed
Ooh,
by they put him in an electric chair and
they had
then
to sit him
Yeah.
on chairs or something just so he
Ye-
can reach.
yeah, and then
Yeah.
you find out years and decades later that he was actually innocent, and it's just like his life is gone.
And he was
Like
a
you
child.
exonerating them, but it's just like, what exactly does that do?
He was
Yeah.
a
Because they're
They give his
gone.
family an opportunity to place a lawsuit.
Right.
yeah. They can have punitive damages. Ain't that what punitive damages?
But
Money.
Uh,
it's the same thing as far as like the Emmett Till situation. Because even though this lady old as hell, when she finally admitted to lying, bitch, she should have got something done to her too.
And you know that lady is still alive.
yeah, that's
Yes.
what he
She's
was just
on.
The
saying.
Emmett Till lady, when she said he whistled at her and grabbed her,
Did
some
she
old
lie?
shit, and they tortured this teenage boy because in the media they'll say, "Oh, this man, this young man," you know how they try to do.
Right.
They tortured this teenage boy and kill and murder him, and then later we find out that the bitch, oh Jesus, the lady lied,
The bitch lied.
And they got
and
her in
nothing
the secluded
happened.
area.
She's still a teacher or some shit somewhere,
No,
and it's
she's
like
not. She's
nothing.
not
She,
working. Her
they got her in the
family is
secluded
doing
area.
everything that they can to hide her.
Yeah, she's
She's
secluded.
hiding.
She's still alive to this day,
Right.
and
But that's what I'm saying.
nothing happened.
That's what I'm saying. They got her in the secluded area. They're protecting her. But this bitch should have something going. Something should go wrong. She should go to prison. Something because you lied. You confirmed that you lied, and this boy got tortured, brutally murdered.
Black Twitter, do your thing. Come on now. Y'all quick to find every fucking thing out. Black Twitter, we need to find this hoe. Fuck that. She don't deserve no goddamn ma'am and lady. Fuck that. That bitch, we need to find that bitch.
Lord,
Fuck,
It's just
fuck
sad though.
that.
Like damn.
for shits and giggles does not promote violence.
I ain't say whoop her ass. I said we need to find the bitch.
I said,
Janine say no comment.
I'm
No
an
comment.
equal opportunist. Okay.
No comment.
it was,
Equal
I will say that was a good movie, but it did take me back to my feelings of like, ooh, bitch.
What movie?
I
When we go to the
regret.
movie?
The Emmett Till movie.
Oh,
I
my
regret
bad.
to say I
My
did not
bad.
watch it. Well, I don't regret it. I didn't watch it.
Don't. Janine don't.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
know it's triggering. Okay, I know this is triggering. Okay, I personally read. Hell no. And then nowadays it's like we've come so far with television and graphic and makeup and everything. I will
Right.
be I will be home ready to punch the first palm color individual that crossed my path. And unfortunately, I work around a lot of them, okay? And I am piss poor when it comes to customer service. I'm already bad when it comes to customers always being right. And let's just make it clear, I don't do anything with groceries. I don't do anything with, I don't do none of that or whatever, but everything seems to be categorized as customer service nowadays.
Right.
Another one for it or whatever because I don't believe that shit. So they get the energy that they give me.
Yeah, they
And if they come so if they come with a piss poor attitude, you better believe you getting some piss and a couple of ice, okay?
Okay.
That is
And
it.
that honestly should be allowed because you can't continue to ask these people who were some of them for minimum wage to be allowed to be cursed out by a motherfucker. And it's like you being cursed out, but you're expected to be calm.
Professional and calm.
Like it's like no, like like bitch, I got feelings too. So it's like if you come at me incorrect, I'm gonna come at you
But
incorrect.
it don't matter.
So-
Like my thing is this: you can't pay me enough to be disrespected. I don't care how much money I'm making. Like at the end of the day, my livelihood comes first. Like I'm always gonna be respectful. But if you come to me disrespectful and expect me to say and take it, maybe this is not the job for me.
And that's how I feel. Because if I feel like I'm being disrespected or I have been disrespected, and if you as my supervisor don't back me, then it's like, okay, then I need to leave. Like you say, I need to leave. Because that's some just straight bullshit. Because I know when I was management at my last job, I ain't you're not coming in the store with that disrespect.
Not
Not
with
to
the
me and not to
bullshit.
my employees. So it's like you can go ahead and leave. Because I'm quick to say, look, either we can handle this respectfully or we're not gonna handle it at all. I'm
And we can
surprised
call,
that
we
video
can call
hasn't been
the
released of me
authorities.
cussing that lady out.
We can call the authorities as well.
Oh, I've done that. That's why I say I'm surprised that video that lady made when they started making those mask mandate, and she came in that store without a mask on, but she came in recording, so I knew she was with the shit.
With the bullshit.
So we went back and forth, and I eventually cussed her ass out, and then she was like, "Let me just put my mask on." I'm like, "You had it the whole
That's
fucking
what you
time."
need to do.
The whole time.
And I was like, she was like, "I'm just gonna get my dog food and leave." I'm like, "No, you're not. You're not getting no dog food from here." And she was like, "But my dog needs to eat." I said, "Okay, there's plenty of other stores, but you're not getting it from here. And the
Ma'am,
food that
fuck
we
you and
sell
your
that you're
dog.
getting, you can't just get anywhere. So good luck."
Yeah.
Like,
But
So
fuck
what?
that.
So what? So good luck.
Good luck. Hopefully
And
y'all get, because like I said, that food that she was getting, you can't just get it anywhere. You can't just go to any pet store and get that food.
Was it Blue Buffalo?
No, it was Stella and Chewy.
that's expensive. But you know what surprises me though? It's like when we finally lash out or open our mouth and voice our opinion or snap, they look at us like we crazy.
Especially if you
That's a
want
bigger
us.
problem.
Yeah.
Especially if you want us.
Hold on, especially like what, Jarrell?
If you look like one of us. So you look like one of us, they quick.
I got a good one. Did y'all hear about the 3 sheriffs that just got fired?
I heard something about it.
Jarrell,
I just
Google it real
mentioned
quick.
that.
Oh, one of y'all did, yeah.
Yeah.
Look it up so you can get the right city fact checked us. But however, Jarrell posted it was like 3 cops. They did an internal investigation or something of their what is the camera that's on them or some shit. Heard them talking.
Body cam.
They were saying all kind of stuff about slaughtering and canceling niggas and shit and all kind of stuff. Jarrell, go ahead, elaborate.
You just did.
I can't remember.
I don't remember what city it was, but like I was saying before, it was a black sheriff.
Right, and it went the sheriff ended up firing the officers.
The 3 officers.
The 3 officers, they was talking about, remember we was talking about how the palm color, they feel like we're trying to cancel or everybody trying to cancel out their pure race and all of this stuff. So it kind of tied into that.
Yeah, it's like they felt. Let me just put it like this: a lot of white people feel like they are, which they are becoming the minority, and that scares them because they fear that all the shit, all that guilt trip of everything that your race has done to people when it comes to this country. It's like you fear that that's going to happen to you. And the thing about it is, especially when it comes to black people, we honestly have never looked for revenge. And they're actually lucky because if we were looking for revenge, baby, it would be a whole nother civil war in this motherfucker. But we just been.
Wait a minute, he even mentioned a civil war. Remember,
he did because he was saying that he was ready.
Look that up real quick. The verbatim what he said, because he said that he's buying a whole bunch of guns or some shit, and he's getting ready for the next civil war, and they was gonna slaughter all the N words.
It's so frustrating. It's so frustrating because blacks, we're some of the most forgiving individuals, forgiving race that exists. Okay, and when I tell you, it annoys the shit out of me. It really does.
It does.
And we spoke about that too, Janine. We said that because that's one of the black and brown community biggest strength and biggest downfall. We are too caring and we morals and all that other shit.
And we are also expected to take the high road every time. It's like we'll be the ones getting disrespected, but everyone expects us to take the high road. And it was like, oh, you should have handled that differently.
You know why? It's the Bible. That's why. Turn the other cheek. Love thy neighbor.
We ain't even gonna get into that talk because I make a whole bunch of bitches mad. So we're not gonna go down.
We would.
What they don't understand is eventually this whole fucking planet is gonna be fucking mixed breeds.
Yes.
They have statistics on that too. That by 20,
it's gonna be a whole bunch of mutts. And it's frustrating because it's
50 something.
Some people.
Right.
Like, don't get it wrong. Like, don't get it twisted. Like, I understand there are, those of our race that, that seek out outside our race. But let's just be clear, like taking them back to slavery, no slaves were jumping on your dick saying rape me. Y'all was coming after us. And even
Mhm.
now, they fetishize this, our men in their BBCs. And
Ooh,
baby, it's not all BBCs.
Very true.
ooh.
Yeah,
Yes,
not everybody got one. You
it's
better.
Mm-mm.
um,
So if you're gonna
But you
do
me.
it, make sure
but
you
now
figure it out.
you now have these black men who's actually fancying the white women now, or just you know what I'm saying? It's like and then when stuff happened, they wonder why you got a lawsuit against you or something happened. Now you the one who want to go to jail.
Bye. Because you're just trying to get in the camera.
I'm
Jarrell,
just
did you
iffy on
find
that
that?
because
Did
of
you
the
find that
history.
story?
No, I'm actually finding other stories that are just like it. It's
That's just
crazy.
like it.
Yes.
Look,
It
y'all.
don't surprise me though. It don't surprise
It's
me.
okay. Edit this part out. Just put in black sheriff fires 3 racist officers. It'll come up. Black sheriff fires 3 racist officers because he fired
That's
them on his
that's what I'm
first
saying.
day.
That's what I put in, but it's another one that came up of an officer in Wyoming, and she was the first
Y'all want
black
peace in the
sheriff hired,
Huh?
and she fired a white deputy who was accused of racism and bullying. This was just in January of this year.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a whole different story. It don't go into details of what this officer said, but it just
Mm-hmm.
states that, wait a minute, he don't look white.
I got to find that story because it is very it's alarming at the things that was caught. And the only reason why they caught it was because they had an internal investigation of they were just doing like a random audit. That's the word I was looking for. A random audit of the audio that the officers had, and that's how they found it. Imagine all the conversations that these officers and people are having that we don't hear.
Right, and that's what
They
any
only found it because they was doing an audit, and then that's when they heard them talking about, all the racist shit, slaughtering the black people, and when the next civil war come up, this what's gonna happen. They stocking up on guns and all this other shit. Just
but
a whole bunch of other shit.
believe it or not, it's this happening with a lot of different places.
Yeah.
Different places. So it don't surprise me. Like that good boy system. They
Oh,
yeah.
Jonini, you know about the good boy system?
Wait, what? What the fuck is the good boy system?
We can't hear you.
So the good boy system, it's a law enforcement thing where they have each other's backs and they will lie, they would motherfucking uh
Oh,
whatever they have to
I
do
never
to
heard
cover.
it. I never heard it called that, but I'm aware of what it is.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they would cover each other's ass at all costs.
yeah. But when it come down to that, I honestly feel as if that's more towards whites. I feel as if, like, yeah, even though it's like I said before, like in our orientation, you have to make
Mhm.
a decision, whereas it's us versus them. It's not, us being black, white, Hispanic, or whatever, brown, whatever. It's us being in blue versus them. And
Right.
I feel like that's technically what the good boy system is. But I feel as us being African Americans, us being black, it complicates things because now you're messing with our morality, where we
But
stand at as a human, where we stand at as black men and black women and
Yes, I
everything.
agree.
You want
but
me
you
to
think
have
about it
your
like this.
back? You
But
want
you
me to
think
have
about
your back as I witness you put your knee on somebody's neck? You get
right.
what I'm saying?
I
Like,
was
I
about to
can't
say,
do that.
I
I was
can't
about to
do
say
it.
it's the same difference from those in green opposed to us. You know what I'm saying? On the
What do you mean
streets.
those in green?
Law enforcement.
Yes.
Okay, then that's why I said blue because it's referred to as blue,
Yeah.
not necessarily like county or anything like that.
Yeah.
That's
She's saying
that's
all
referred to as
law
blue.
enforcement.
That's law
Yeah.
enforcement. I'm saying law
But-
enforcement as a general, as
Right.
a
Yeah.
whole. Is that's
Mhm.
what it boils down to.
But it's the same thing. Yeah, that's what the good boy system is basically. It's like in even with
I agree.
yeah. No, but no, what I'm saying is it's kind of messed up because it's you got some people who are of our complexion that are in that system and they have to sit here and witness stuff happening and they have to make a decision like, do I stick with my crew or do I stick with my people?
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? And a lot of them choose to stick with their crew, the who they work with.
There
Yeah,
were a
but
lot
like,
of them that
don't
did
get
quit.
don't get it
Yes.
don't get it twisted. Like, in a way, I do understand what they're doing. You get what I'm saying? I do comprehend it. Whereas you're securing your family's wealth. You get what I'm saying? You're securing your retirement or whatever the case, whatever it is you stand for. But just like I said, at some point it challenges your morality and what
Yeah.
you stood for as an individual or what you stood for before you joined that brotherhood, KKK, them, before
Mhm.
you joined it. So let's just be clear, like the KKK is a gang. Let's add to that clarity and say law enforcement is also a gang. Let's not get that
Ooh.
shit twisted.
Hold on, that's gonna be another episode.
Yes,
Oh, okay then. Let's
It's
move
gonna be
forward
another
then.
episode.
it's
It's gonna be
almost
another
time.
episode.
Cause that sound like gang shit when you say when you whip for your brothers. You give blood in,
Okay.
blood out. Gang
Hold
gang.
on,
That's
that's
exactly what the fuck
another
that is.
episode, though,
Okay.
Nene. Okay,
Okay.
wait. Pause it right now.
Let's go back to
It
the
might
three
be
branches
next
of
week.
that
We don't
tree.
know. There might be next week. We don't know.
But it's
So
about that.
let's just reiterate. Listen, black and brown people, we have to vote for other things other than the president. Also, when things go left or whatever, don't just be like, oh, it's the president, it's the president, it's the president. When you have not looked into these senators, these Congress people, these people that have sat in the seat for many years, you have to go and research these people and vote for them. Again, go to vote.gov. Jarrell, what's the other website?
Rockthevote.org.
Rockthevote.org. It will tell you everything you need to know, how to register, where you're supposed to register. If you are already registered, it will tell you if your registration is still in good standards or if you need to reapply. Please do this and look into this stuff. Educate yourselves. Go to these town meetings because a lot of times, a lot of decisions locally, and that's another thing that we touched on a little bit, but didn't dive into. A lot of things that affects you personally on your daily basis is going on right in your own town. Your sheriff, your mayor, all of those things. You need to vote on all of that stuff because that is what is affecting you on a daily basis. And if you're only
Mhm.
voting for the president, you don't have a say in what's going on in your own town. Go and check these things out. Go to your city hall. Make your voice known. Go in there and let a bitch know how you feel. Vote
And
for
when you
these.
see the advertisement come up, don't just ignore it. Actually, take the time to just look at it.
Right.
Look at
And
So you know
again,
who you're voting for.
exactly. And again, do your research. Again, for the dates. If you want to vote for the preliminary election, you have to be registered by July the 25th. If you want to vote for the primary election in November, you have to be registered to vote by August the 23rd. Okay, go get registered.
And friends and family, let's encourage our people to go vote and to register to vote. Should I say? If they don't have a means to do it, you be the means. You take them to
Help them get
the
registered.
yes, to get them registered. It's very
You ain't
important.
even got to take them. Just tell them to
We
pull out their
register
phone.
online.
Yeah,
Online.
pull out your phone and register.
It is so easy to register to vote.
It takes
Are
a couple
y'all-
minutes.
If you change your address, they ask you, do you want to register to vote? Like, you legitimately have no excuse as to why
No
you're not
excuse.
voting. Like,
Right.
stop the shit, man.
But we
Right.
really want to push voting for more than the president. Look into your senators, your local things, also our young people out there listening, 18 to 25. We need your vote. This affects you. This affects your education, your judicial system. It affects you. Get out there and make your vote and your voice heard. Please do it.
Hooty hoo.
Hooty-hoo. Last thing, educate yourself on the three branches of government, which is the
What are they,
legislative,
Jarrell? Wait, Jarrell, what are they?
Hold on, let me get on the Googler Smoogler.
the
No
legislative.
Google. No
I
Google.
got the legislative branch is the lawmakers. The executive branch, they carry out the law. That's your president. And then the
Mhm.
judicial branch, they interpret the law. So you got your lawmakers, the
Lawmakers
people that make you do the law, and
make you
then
do
the
the law.
ones that interpret the law. Three
Interpret the
branches.
law. Three of
Yes.
them.
He's still on
Legislative,
point. But
executive, and
anyway,
judicial.
educate yourselves, people, on this because it affects us. It affects the black and brown people and the poor, the middle class on down most. Please educate yourself. Vote on these motherfuckers, especially these senators that make these laws about the gays, about the women in their uterus. These are the people that's making the laws. It ain't the president. All the president do is sign off on these things. It's the ones that's sitting in the seat with the puppet strings that make these laws. You need to vote on these people because they have been sitting in the chair too fucking long, a lot of them. Educate yourselves on that.
Or if you just want to talk about DeSantis and his bullshit, that's all you had to say. Because it didn't sound like Florida when you just.
It's all over the place.
We need to get his ass out. You hear me?
Sap.
DeSantis need to get the fuck out.
Real quick before we close out, do you know that DeSantis is trying to team up with Trump? It's going they are going for Trump DeSantis 2024. Trump being the president.
He spoke on being a Trump supporter when Trump was in office. He's a major Trump supporter.
We're not trying to make this left or right Republic. We just talking about going to vote and making your voice heard. Period. So, in conclusion, this has been
allegedly
another episode of the For Shits and Giggles podcast. I'm your boy AJ. I got Z, Jonini, and Jarrell with me. Y'all hit us up. All the information will be down below. How you can follow us, follow our podcast, iTunes, iRadio, iHeart, all the other eyes.
Everything
will be down below. Instagram, Twitter, all of those things will be down below. And we appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for watching us again.
We do. And there your ass go with the goddamn pointing.
I didn't point. I was like this.
I'm talking about AJ.
Oh.
Well, I was pointing.
Shut up. We
already established my outro.
What?
Recording. I don't trust the thing. Stop recording.
I'm trying to.
I don't trust you at all.